Well, this is super do-it-yourselfers, and we have to encourage people to do this yourself because we got to do it ourselves to try to save some money. I mean, that's what this is all about, most of it. That and other fun things we do on the channel. But today we are going to cut down our holly tree. I guess it was a holly bush before it became a tree, but now it's a tree. We're trying to grow grass right here, and we can't do it with this holly tree in the way. Plus, this tree was damaged. One of the limbs was destroyed, along with a couple of other my magnolia trees, because we hired some fly-by-night company in an emergency in a bind to cut down, just cut the top off of one of our water oaks for safety purposes. In other words, the tree got struck by lightning a while back, not too long ago, and lightning split the tree almost in half, and one half was headed towards one unsafe direction, and the other half was heading against, to another one. So because of all that, it started a chain reaction of things that we have to do, and since we had to pay $1,500 to cut this tree, just the top of it off, and damage all our other trees in the process, we are cutting this holly down. So, oh yeah, let's show the water oak. That's huge.
Big totem pole.
So it's yeah, we got to cut it the rest of the way, but we can do that ourselves. Most of what we needed a boom for or a lift for is done, and that, like I said, we paid $1,500 for. So this is why we need to learn how to do this stuff ourselves. And so this tree, I guess it's about 20 foot tall. If you go to the very top, that's about 2 stories tall. Okay, so 20 feet. We're going to cut this thing down, and we're going to start by cutting branch by branch. We're going to start here, get up here, and we're going to cut and get rid of all these stickies so we don't get ourselves stuck. So we're going to get a pole saw in here and just take our weed eater and just chop, 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 and then get these branches aside and then haul them off, and then we'll leave the stalk up, and then we'll cut that down. And that should go pretty quick. We're not going to film the whole thing because who wants to learn how just to cut down a tree? But if you're one person or 2 people and you don't think you can do something like this, if a couple $100 or $1,000 or $1,500 coming out of your pocket doesn't incentivize you, then I guess you have the money to pay for it. We're trying to save money here because the economy is not getting any better right now. All right, let's stop that and get ready with our pole saw. Yeah, from that huge water oak that was cut down, that wasn't them getting rid of the debris. We actually got rid of all the brush, and we cut all this wood up. So yeah, that was our chainsaw. It's hard at work. And there it is, stacked on a fence line, about 40 foot long. And then some chopped over there, if you can see that. So we got that tucked behind the tree on the fence line. So yeah, we did this ourselves, and we still paid $1,500 to have the tree done down and drop down, and not all the way, in a bind with about 25 foot left up there, or maybe 30 foot left in the air. So yeah, this is why we're cutting our own holly tree, even though it's a smaller one still. And then we'll probably do a review on some chainsaws later, because we were cutting a lot of wood here, and some saws did good and some didn't. So maybe we'll review chains and chainsaws, and the type of oil and gas that we were mixing, and the fact that we didn't have any carburetor problems running ethanol fuel. Let's get to it. Yep, right up. All right, take a break. Let me take over. All
right.
Here you go. How's that?
That's it.
Alright, so we'll get this brush cleared out. We'll come back and we'll cut the base of it down. Now, people want to know why I'm filming this. When you tell somebody about your other situation and you try to get a quote, don't give them a $500 quote right off the bat just from a picture that you sent to them for something this size when the homeowner can do it right here on camera really quick.
It's only been what, 20 minutes?
Wow.
Not even 15 minutes.
Yeah. Alright, so we're going to take care of some of the smaller brush still. We got to get rid of it. And we're going to cut it away from the bigger branches so we can cut the bigger branches up separately. So what we got is a little Ryobi 10-inch electric chainsaw, right? Battery operated. So this is an 18-volt battery operated. I think it cost about $75 when I bought it, and that was about 2 years ago. And now, because of the inflation that we're not supposed to have, according to the mainstream media, this saw is now $159. Tool only, meaning no battery, which is pathetic. Considering yesterday it fell off of a ladder and quit working. So the motor, the electric motor in it, burned up. Came loose, and some of the windings in the motor got wrapped around some of the brushes in the motor, and it just, long story short, it shorted out the motor and quit working. And so, all from dropping it. So I took another tool kind of like it, which is what I call a sawzall, a reciprocating saw, and I took the motor out of it, and I changed the gear on the top, and I wired together the motor into this one. So now it's got virtually the same motor, same maker, Ryobi or whatever Chinese company put this together. I forgot, who owns Ryobi?
Tektronix or something like
Tektronix?
that? Yeah.
They own all these companies, don't they? Like all the major companies.
Yeah.
So when you think, yeah, Hoover vacuum cleaner and all that. So when you think you're getting like a cheap tool or expensive tool, you better check out who owns the major company, who owns it all, because you're kind of just buying the same thing, except for quality control and stuff like that. So all in all, the saw has been pretty good. It just can't take a fall. So, which I guess is understood, but it's plastic. You know, what do you expect? It's just a blade with a battery. You know. So we're gonna cut this up. Try cutting it right now and see if my motor swap last night works good or it smokes. Yeah, about the same. So this is a 10-inch saw. Ryobi makes an 8-inch handheld. Looks like a little handheld flashlight, but it cuts like that. And I think for pruning trees and stuff, the average homeowner who's doing their own yard maintenance probably should own one like that. That's just, you know, quiet so the neighbors don't get upset and all that, you know, but these environmental people out there take everything so seriously. You know, you might not want to cause a ruckus with your homeowners association. Even though we don't have that problem here, but still, I see on YouTube and stuff where all kinds of people are fighting their homeowners association for the stupidest things. But yeah, I mean, a chainsaw, handheld, I don't even know if this qualifies as a chainsaw. It's more like just a saw with a chainsaw blade on it, but you people get the idea of what I mean. Like, this is probably something you would do pretty good with. Basic tree pruning, you know, basic small branches and stuff. But we've cut stuff up pretty big with that saw. We could have cut this entire tree down with it, minus the stalk, because the blade just isn't wide enough. But we could have cut everything we just cut right there with it. But we chose to use the weed eater pole saw mixture. All right, so we'll get this out of the way. We'll come back when it's time to get the bigger chainsaw out. I don't know if we're gonna get the big boy out, but the 2-foot chainsaw, but we'll at least get the 18-inch out. All right, y'all. Man, this is perfect. Here we are, you know, a few minutes later. Got a cloud coming over. Thank goodness, because we definitely got full sun now. This is great because now we can put our mandarin tree, our citrus tree, We can get ourselves a dwarf, a semi-dwarf, or a full-size, 15 to 20 feet, Algerian clementine mandarin tree. Probably we're going to get one that's full grown, so it probably costs us about a good $300, but we just saved $500. So we're going to go cut that base down, and we're going to get one of the oldest chainsaws that we have, and we're going to try it out. All right, and here's a surprise, surprise. Here's our older chainsaw. This is a chainsaw that is a nag. Most people probably don't see these anymore, but most people who do know who these are, what these are, is one of the worst chainsaws that actually existed, in my opinion. This chainsaw was bought probably back in 2003, and then since then about 6 or 7 people have given me theirs because it's a Poulan Pro, and it's not really a Poulan Pro, it's a Poulan Pro, because all you do is keep pulling it because it never wants to start up or stay running.
No matter how much you adjust the dang carburetor.
Yeah, no, how many times you adjust the air fuel mixture or the settings on the carburetor, it always readjusts itself or gets out of whack. So it's a very finicky chainsaw, and most people can't keep them running, and that's why they don't hardly exist anymore. But that's not the point of this. The point of this is to say, look, we took what most people consider a piece of junk and actually made it cut wood good, because if you look out there, all of that, just about, with the exception of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 big stumps that were cut with our 2-foot bar saw, our Husqvarna, this Poulan Pro cut all that real fast, because it's the chain that counts, and that's what we got on here. So I'm going to talk about that chain in a minute. That is a full chisel chain, and all these saws come with a semi chisel, and that is a slower cutting, less kickback chain. A full chisel is a little rougher and it kicks back easier. In other words, it's not friendly to the user. You know, you got to hold it down good. Professional chainsaw guys, people in general, know what they're doing with these, but just, you know, your backyard amateur like me went out and bought themselves a full chisel chain for this saw so that it would cut as fast as a regular professional chainsaw, and that's what this is, and that's the reason why it cuts. Now, the brand of the chain was a really good brand, and it surprised me because I didn't think it was going to be that good. I think it's called Archer, which is made in Australia or made in Japan steel, maybe even German steel. I don't remember what it was. Maybe it was Japanese steel. But I haven't had to sharpen it yet. And we cut all that, and we cut trees before this and all that, and it's the same chain unsharpened. So I can't remember what we paid for the chain, but if you look at it, this is full chisel. It means it's kind of squared off. It's not octagon and chopped off. Meaning, if you look at the other chains on the other saws, I'll show you the difference between a full and a semi. The best way to describe it is to compare it. So we got a micro chisel, or semi micro chisel, whatever it is, and a full chisel chain. So the difference is the teeth are bigger, larger, and squarer. They're more of a square, like a tic tac. Those are, they kind of have the corners rounded off, and that's the best way to describe the difference. And this is coming from an amateur, not really super amateur, but kind of an amateur compared to other people, what they consider themselves. I don't do this as a profession, so that's the difference. But you're fixing to see the real difference when the saw comes on. All right. If you can get it running, it's all about the chain. All right, so what we'll do is we'll dig some of this out around here, and then we'll cut it off at the bottom as low as we can. One day later, we'll deal with it with a stump grinder, but for now, it's so small, I don't think we need to deal with it. We'll just let grass and stuff grow up to about right here. I don't really see this thing causing a major problem, just having a yard right here.
It's a good stool.
This thing's gonna get rotten and full of pests later.
Yeah.
Well, maybe right now. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna dig away at the base and then cut it level off. Maybe try to get it a little lower to the ground. Put some soil over it and let it sit for a while. And then we'll put our mandarin tree in over there, a little ways from here, and then we'll have that going. So we're cutting one evergreen down and replacing it with another evergreen, the mandarin tree. So that's great. And then most of all, we saved ourselves $500 on camera just now, real quick. And when you're trying to be a do-it-yourselfer, this is kind of what you have to do. You have to resort to this. Otherwise, you're at the mercy of other people's prices. And right now, I don't think the market knows, and people don't really know what the hell to charge with the way prices are going up and down, up and down. So they're just throwing numbers out there, hoping that they stick. And this is what I've seen from auto mechanics, household repairs, AC repairmen, electricians, tree cutting guys, all of this stuff. And so now, you know, everybody's hurting for money. And so that's when, you know, that's when people start to go bankrupt and businesses start going out. And hopefully we can, you know, we'll adapt as human beings. I think we will. So thank y'all for watching. We'll do something fun later. This wasn't that fun.